take a closer look at the bodywork. I will be addressing the bodywork in the spring when we'll get the winter out of the way, and all of the mechanical work that I'm looking to do to the car should be finished by then. But as you can see, there's the I don't know how much you can see actually with the glare, but there's the sea just 50 meters away, and the car takes a ferocious battering from the water, and it's going to need completely repainting. To be fair, when I bought it, it's a very original car. It has had, let's have a look, we can probably see the roof. Let's have a look. We can see that it's all original. This whole roof is original, and the lacquer's peeling, and it was like that when I bought it. And there's scratches and chips, and there's just the very first signs that it's starting to rust around the screens. That's normal on these cars, and the rust it's sort of creeping back. So I will have to have the screens out. Down here, there's no evidence of rust, and it has had the sides resprayed probably 20-25 years ago. I suspect malicious damage. I suspect somebody had very spitefully scratched it with a key or something, but the roof's original, the boot lid's original, all of the undervalance all under here is original. This side's been repainted, but not very well. It's been what would you call it, it's just been blended in the best somebody can do, but the bonnet's completely original. Now, it is going to need some welding, not serious, but the car is I was just about to say deteriorating rapidly in this location, as would be expected, sitting in a salty environment. And there's a little tiny bit of rust just starting there, but when I rub that will definitely 100% go into a hole. So I'll end up trimming out probably about a 50mm square and putting complete new metal in. Underneath, behind there, which is also usual on Jaguars, the hinge mechanism is slightly rotten, and if I can push it, I don't know if you can you see that sort of, it's bouncing up and down. It's bouncing because where the hinge, it's like a square. There's like a square plate of. It's only thin. It's only bodywork material, but it's like a square plate, quite thick, and it's basically it's rotten there, and the hinge is wriggling. But not a difficult fix. But I do have to take the bonnet off to do that. As you can see, I've got the leaping cat off at the moment. Let's have a look. We're just, it's not good. I will bare metal this car. I will completely bare metal it. Let's have a look. Whilst the sun's gone in a little bit, we might be able to see underneath here. Underneath here, this valance is completely original, and I don't know if it's rusty or not. I've not tried sort of poking it, but somebody has put silicone in there, which shouldn't be there, and it should have a gasket. But yeah, it's got silicone. I'm not worried. Can't breathe properly scrunched up like that. What I'll be doing, I'll take the wings off. Behind the bonnet, there's a row of nuts. So you undo the nuts there. There's two here, but you have to open the door, and you can get to them just here. And then you also have to, let me think now. Yeah, there's two inside here that go down vertically. So you have to take out this panel. Which is quite likely to be rusty when I take it out, and you can just fish your arm in and you can undo the nuts, and then the whole wing comes off. So I'll take the wing off. Obviously the bumper will be off, light out, and I will completely, any repairs that are necessary on the wing, I'll do it off the car. I will paint all underneath, and I'll wax it all on the underneath. I'll paint all the inside, all of this panel work here. It goes all underneath. It all, there's like splash guards that go. We can't see it because of the wheels in the way and it's dark, but they all screw off. So that will all come off. I'll paint it all individually. Each panel will get done individually. Now, I filmed this before. There is, some rot here in the screen. I knew it when I bought the car, and this doesn't fit properly. It's just shrunken, so I'll buy brand new rubbers. I'll take the screen out. I'll cut the metal, and I'll use oxyacetylene, and I'll weld new material in, and then I'll lead load it. There'll be no filler, because it will distort. The panel will distort with oxyacetylene. Well, any weld, but oxyacetylene in particular, there's a lot of heat. you get less, well, heat's less of an issue with MIG welding because it's so fast, but it's messy and it's very hard. You don't have the sort of control. So let's have a look. There's another one here, but I'm not worried. I'm really not worried. Let's have a look. You know, it is what it is. It was here when I bought it, and of course it's got worse. There's the other side, which is actually worse. That will all need cutting out. This will need cutting out, but it won't be difficult. It's just that ambulance pass. Yeah, ambulance. We're on the seafront here. It's madness. So yeah, this whole, you know, there's a bit of surface rust there. So the windscreens will come out. We've got just the very first sort of signs of rust appearing, and this has all happened in the few months I've owned the car. It's taken, you know, look where it is. It's on the seafront. You know, this is a ferocious storm last night. Waves were crashing over. You get salt spray, but it is what it is. You know, this car was always going to take some punishment. And then we've got rust starting. Let me get my shadows. Rust starting to appear here and here. So we'll have to have the window trim out and door handles off, the key lock, everything. This will all be removed. I'll bare metal each panel. I'll do them one at a time. If we look on the inside, I don't know if there's any light. That's black down there is not rust. That's wax oil. I can't really get to it because the paving stone's really high, so I can't sort of. Anyway, I can't show you, but there's no rot there. The bottoms of the door skins are all very, very good. The wheel arches are largely very good, and they don't appear to be rotten. The one panel that is rotten is one I'm not worried about because it unbolts completely. And the other thing is, because the springs at the back here have completely gone, look where the tyre is, and the car should be riding at least 2 inches higher. I can't really crawl underneath and show you, but the panel under here is absolutely rotten, and it was rotten when I bought it. My MOT inspector jabbed around at it with whatever they jab it with and made some holes in it, and he just sort of rubbed some filler onto it and painted it with a bit of a brush and pretended he hadn't done that. But I knew when I bought the car that was absolutely knackered. They're about £110 for a new panel, so, and it completely bolts off, as do these quarter panels at here. The petrol tanks sit in here and down there, so these panels, they bolt off, and I'll take them off. I'll be very surprised if there isn't rust either side, but I'll take them off and I'll strip them. If there's rust, I'll be able to trim bits out and, you know, weld new sections in. If they're really serious, which I don't think they are, you can buy replacements, but they do bolt off, and I'll paint them before putting them back on. But also when it's off, I'll fill the whole of the inner wings with wax oil. So obviously we'll have the aerial out. There is evidence of where it was resprayed along here, of a little bit of overspray, but I will bare metal the whole thing. And I don't think, yeah, in fact it's got moss. Let's have a look, try and get the light correct. There's like green moss in here, but nothing to worry about, really nothing to worry about. I can deal with all of this. I'm not worried about the time. That's slightly, I suspect when I rub that will perforate the metal. I don't think that's just surface. I'll almost definitely end up having to trim the metal out, weld new metal in. But overall it's very, very good. It's very scabby here, but I don't think it's going to pull chunks of metal off. I think we'll save it in time. But worst case scenario, I'll trim off, you know, a couple of inches or so and weld in a new section. That bubble there will be altogether more serious. That wasn't on the car when I bought it. That's happened whilst I've owned it. These are double skinned and water gets in there, and this is salty water, look at, you know, due to where it is. And when I rub that will go into a hole. So I'll end up cutting this out right down to the sill, probably, you know, 60-70 millimeters square, welding new metal in and lead loading it. Let's have a look. Yeah, this bottom of this door is starting to scab. I've not really looked at it, to be honest with you. The weather's been so awful, but yeah, starting to scab. I do suspect I'll have to sort of do some minor welds. I don't think I'll get away with them not perforating the skin, but we'll see. But the sill, I can't crawl under because I don't want to allow my back in this wet. But there was there was holes under here, just pinholes on the surface. The car had been stored in far from. Let me get in the car. It's windy. I don't suppose you can hear me very well. And I'll carry on talking. The car had been stored in a barn in a farm building. There we go.